Welcome back to the M2M Project, where we fight the darkness and put truth in story. Today, I am here with Davina Federgreen, a good friend of mine who is a producer, an entrepreneur, a fundraiser extraordinaire, and we are excited to find out from her today what her process is. Davina, thanks for joining me today on the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Sebastian. It's a pleasure. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you too. Well, I guess maybe what I'll do is I'll get started by just asking you maybe to share with us all a little bit about yourself and what made you good at going after financial backers, and how you even got to that stage, I guess, because I'm sure there's a bit of a journey there.
It is. Well, I've been around the film industry for probably 25 years with my brother, who's a film producer, and friends that are in the film industry. And so about 2018, they dragged me into the industry, which I was very happily able to come on board. And what I do for a company, Federgreen Consulting, is really a 360 firm. So I created this many years ago with a team of people globally to help entrepreneurs, from start to launch, or revenue generating businesses from growth and development. And part of what that entails is literally giving them a 360 ability to fund their business, to help them with marketing and advertising. We also have legal advice. We have accountants that are former PwC, Deloitte, KPMG guys that think the same way I think, in respect to, we give 1,000% and we charge above average, so that we're not charging the PwC prices or the ad agency prices, because we felt that, most people need to watch their budgets, in not only film, in business of any sort, in technology, everything. So we decided to create this one-stop sort of full suite of services to help them. In that respect, I help people with investor packages, as well as I help them raise capital. We also have debt financing, roughly about 250 sources of debt financing that are available to people. So depending on what your needs are, we can really help you with pretty much A to Z. So in the film industry, I wanted to look at it from the inside out, because a lot of people look at it visually from the front of it. And I needed to see and understand what was happening to the market and why it was so difficult raising capital. And so what I did was I realized the problems were where people were overinflating their budgets. They weren't adding enough revenue streams, and they weren't making it attractive enough for the investors. Plus, also, there were a lot of people that were getting investors on board, and they weren't getting their return on the investment. So, it was a high risk for them, which film can be a risk, but really film doesn't have to be a risk if we do it properly.
Right.
So I went to a group of people that have private lines of credit. They're trust funds. So it's all private, which is even better than the banks, where they like to pull loans. They like to, increase interest rates whenever they feel like it, all the things that happen with banks. And so I decided, I'm going to find a way to fund films and make it still, the ownership has to be on the producers, the screenwriters, or anybody who's really looking for the funding, right? So what I did was I decided I'm going to help with both sides of the coin. So one side is they need that 20% money down. The other side is they need the rest of the film funded. They may need P&A too later on, whatever they need, right? So I decided I'm going to split it into two. I went to the trust funds. I spent 3.5, 4 months going back and forth trying to convince them that this is a viable business. This is something that can make a lot of money for many people. And so I put together a film deck, explained it all to them. They were very excited because they actually realize the amount of money you can make in the film industry, not only just with distribution or tax credits or anything like that, but you can actually make a whole lot of money adding other revenue streams on top of the model. And so I created the business model of it, not going in as a film creative. I went in as a business person instead. Very different. So a lot of people go in as creatives. It's like, oh, I have a great screenplay, and I've got this great idea and I want to make this film, which is great. The problem is if you're not structuring it properly in the business sense, then chances of getting funded could be very difficult, or getting your revenue back plus. So we want to get 5-10 fold, once you've funded a film. Let's say it's $10 million, you want to make, 30, 40, $50 million back. We all do. So we all do. Come on. So what I decided was, okay, I'm going to start layering revenue streams on top of the films.
Right.
And some people are doing it now. Most people aren't. Most people are still doing the old methodology of, oh, we're going to get tax credits and distribution, and, and that's it. And then we'll make our money back plus. Well, that doesn't necessarily help with after COVID, with we need the butts and seats kind of thing in the theatrical world. Netflix is only paying so much, the OTT is only paying so much. So what I decided was, okay, well, theaters are coming back, which is great. We have to really promote them. I've been seeing it lately in the theaters where they're doing commercials saying, hey, we still want to be in theaters, help support us, which is awesome. I love it. And so what we're doing now is we're doing the 20% from an investor, or, if let's say you are a person coming to me for money, you get your 20% from an investor, which that's all they need. And then we put them into the line of credit, which starts at 10 million and up. So we can do a slate of films now. So now you're completely funded for your whole slate, or you're funded for your one film. Right. So what that entails now is that the investor will help you to get that 100% LTC line of credit. Right. And then he gets his money back once we fund the line of credit. Once it's been approved, then we can pay back the investor, let's say 2 million on the 10 million. And then we can give them let's say their 10, 15, 20% return, their interest on that 2 million that they borrowed. Right. And now they're out and you own 100% of your film.